This is the story of Michael, a university scholar and an enthusiastic musician. Every day, on his way home from university, Michael always walked past a seemingly abandoned house. Yet every day, as Michael walked past the house, he could hear beautiful piano music coming from within. It was clear that the pianist was quite the musician. Every day, Michael heard different music coming from inside. Sometimes it was ragtime, others was classical Beethoven, or even a bit of jazz. The pianist was quite talented, if not in fact too talented. But if it were really a piano roll, whom was changing the songs, he pondered. One day, as rain hailed down from the clouds and lightning lit up the sky, Michael was on his way home from lectures. Seeking shelter, Michael decided to enter the run-down old house in hopes of not only seeking comfort from the rain, but also to discover who was playing that beautiful music. Michael knocked on the door. Although it was clear that the house was run down, there must have been someone living inside. There was no response. But then, a moment later, the music stopped. Michael assumed that someone must be coming to open the door. Michael's assumption, however, was incorrect. Minutes ticked by, and yet nobody came. Thinking that perhaps the pianist was shy of people, Michael decided to enter the house without invitation. Upon entering the house, Michael sees a lone piano sitting in the middle of the room. After inspecting the decrepit room, Michael concludes that the conditions were simply unlivable. However, just to be certain, Michael called out. It seemed his cries were to no avail, as the room remained silent. Whoever was playing the piano had disappeared. Michael walked over to the piano and considered playing something, but as Michael only saw himself an amateur, and having played for less than 6 months, Michael decided against it. Then, without warning, the piano began to play by itself. Alarmed, Michael jumped back. This music was not Beethoven or Mozart, not Joplin, or anything upbeat as Michael had heard whilst walking past the house so many times. The music was intense, moody, dark, dare we say sinister. As he stared long and hard at the piano, Michael became captivated by the melody. He felt like the piano was speaking to him through the music, like a warning. A little frightened by the lone piano's haunting track, Michael turned around and headed for the door. Before he reached the door, the piano stopped and began to play a different song. A song that invoked strong emotions within Michael as he stood there helplessly captivated before the door. The song was a sad, mournful tune. It reminded Michael of all the times he spent alone while he played his harmonica, locked up in a cupboard as his father brutally beat his mother. Just that sad, haunted, emotional melody. Michael turned around from the door to face the piano. He noticed it was the only thing in the whole room. It was lonely. As a lover of music, Michael felt sorry for the piano. This time, however, his sympathy was as strong for the piano as it would have been for a dear friend. Michael made his way to the piano, and the piano once again changed its tune. It played an upbeat track, happy that Michael had decided to stay. Once again, the piano stopped playing, as if it were patiently waiting for something. Then, taking the bait, Michael sat down on the piano stool, and he played. And he played. And he played. And he played. And until this day, Michael continues to play on the piano until the next person, like Michael, decides to sit down in the chair to release him from his spell. I was lucky with Michael. 1970 was a time of disco and rockabilly, yet he was an appreciator for music of all kinds and the beauty of the piano. But now, in 2008, he continues to play. Nobody has time, or even the heart, for a lonely piano in in the middle of a rundown room in an abandoned house, playing all by its lonesome self, until the next time a sympathetic soul sits down on that stool and decides to play a song.